So this tutorial is for my friend, and she's getting married at the end of October. We are basically going to do a natural glam makeup look, and I'm going to do my absolute best to show as many tips as I can and hopefully make this an easier process for her. But if anyone else has a wedding that they are attending or planning doing their makeup themselves as a bride, hopefully I can show you the best way to go about it. I am not a makeup artist by any means, certified at least, so I do makeup for other people, but I am not necessarily a professional, I guess. So just take everything with a grain of salt. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to show you what I know, what I've learned over the years, and hopefully I can help you out. So I'm going to start off by using tape, actually. I'm going to take maybe like 2 inches of tape, and I'm going to put it on the back of my hand to reduce the stickiness, so that way when you put it onto your eye, it won't pull your skin once you take it off. I'm using this to just basically make it a little easier for the eyeshadow to look sharper, and then also to help us with the eyeliner later as well. I'm going to have my mirror here to look out here and there because it will just help me out. Basically, you're going to be adding the tape to the natural curve of the bottom of your eye. So basically for me, it's going up this way. That's where you would put the tape. Now I'm going to do the other eye and lining it with the bottom of this eye. Make sure those are as even as possible, just so once we finish with the beautiful eyes, they don't look so uneven. If it is a little bit uneven, you could always just slightly touch it up with a small makeup brush. We're also starting off with the eyes first because personally I think, especially with a bridal look, I don't want to mess with that with getting fallout on my face. So I basically just want to do my eyeshadow first and make sure that we have no possible chance of getting the eyeshadow on the face. So to prime, I personally use a concealer. I'm going to use the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. Mine is in the shade Light Medium Sand. I am using a brush called from Farsali. It's basically just like a concealer brush, and I'm just going to use that to spread it all over my eyelids. And just make sure it's up to the tape. I'm applying a little bit of extra on the inner corner of my eyes because I have like really dark veins around my nose. Do I even need this right now? I'm gonna probably put this in once we start doing the face makeup. Okay, so for eyeshadow, I'm going to use the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. It has a lot of great neutral colors, and that's mostly what we're going to be focusing on. And I'm going to probably stay in this area. Maybe a tiny bit of dark brown, we'll see. Drugstore option with the same type of shades we're going to be working with is the Milani, that's the Pure Passion palette. And it basically just has a lot of the same shades we're going to be working with. I'm going to go in actually with this color is called Tempera. We're just gonna lightly dust over the lids with that. Next, we are going in with the shade Burnt Orange. We're just gonna lightly tap that because it is quite pigmented, and I just want more like a wash in the crease. I never took that off. Oh, that's so clear. And you're basically just going to keep this on the outer as much as you can because honestly you don't really even need to go that much further because we're going to end up putting a lighter shimmer in the eye. Lightly built it up. I literally have like 3 mirrors happening. I have really bad eyesight, so that's why. Okay, So now we are going to add a tiny bit of the, I'm gonna say, let's go for the Cypress Umber. It's the dark brown in the palette. I'm going to use a little bit of like a fluffier, flatter brush. We are going to really tap that because I am not trying to go crazy with this. Just want to add a little bit of darkness right like at the end of the eye. And then almost like go a little bit up to try and create a little V shape at the corner of the eye. And if you like a more blown out look, you could totally do without the tape, or even once you've done the eyeliner, at least for the tape to help you with the eyeliner, you could take off the tape and then just like round out the eyeshadow. But I don't mind the more sharp looking eyeshadow. Now we might need to touch up the outer corners after we put the shimmer shade, or maybe even just the like transition shade we might have to touch up. But we'll focus on that after. I'm just doing the same thing on the other eye. I actually feel like my tapes are uneven, which I'm a little nervous about, but it's okay. We can always just fix it a little bit at the end. Next we are going into the shade called Vermeer. I'm actually going to use my fingers. I think that is the best way to apply things. However, I understand that on your wedding day you might have your nails done and maybe you might not be able to reach or whatever it is. So you can also use a flat shader brush. Let me just show you which one I personally use. But basically something like this, just a regular flat shader brush. But I really love using my fingers, so we're gonna do that. And I basically just kind of put it all over the like first maybe 2/3 of the lid. My eye shape is so weird. Sometimes I feel like I look like a cat. If you prefer it to look a little more foiled or a little more vibrant for the like first like half of the lid, I would recommend to just wet the brush like a tiny bit. You don't need to like soak it, just a little bit. So since we kind of lost a little bit of the transition shade over here, I'm gonna add a little bit of that. Makeup is fun. Don't be so intimidated by it. You know, it's just a learning process. You can always touch up things. It's all gonna be okay. Now my friend requested to do a liquid eyeliner. For eyeliner, we are going to use the Essence Eyeliner Pen. This is the waterproof one. I actually really love this one. And it's like, I don't know, $2-3. Now, our tape is going to be very helpful with this situation. I'm personally going to start off by doing the line on the actual lid. And I'm going to keep it decently thin. And I'm not really going like this. I'm going like flat against my eye, just to make that process a little bit easier. I'm trying my best to show this part especially, because I know it can be very, very intimidating to do eyeliner. I got eyeshadow on my chin. You just have to go little by little. Don't rush it. Take your time. Don't let anyone rush you to do your makeup, especially on your wedding day. I am starting to go up the tape right now to create the wing. Again, I'm kind of using like the brush to put flat against my eye. to just make it a little bit easier, almost like stamping the liner. And now we do the other eye. Work my way up the tape. And you can go as thick or thin as you want. I'm kind of just keeping it in the middle. So we are going to take this off. Ooh, look at the nice reveal, you see? Beautiful. That is how the eyeshadow is looking right now. Nice natural glam. I have put my clips in my hair just to keep it out of my face. So to prime my face, I'm going to use the Farsali liquid glass. This is going to basically just hydrate my skin. If you do not have something like this, you could just use a hydrating spray, like a primer spray. Mario Badescu has a really good one. Or just any type of moisturizing primer. You don't want to use like full on, like just any moisturizer, because some of them could affect your skin. This one's really nice because it hydrates your skin, but it dries down. Oh my god, my face looks so red right now. Why you gotta do me like that, camera? I'm also gonna put a little bit under my eyes just to hydrate that area. Oh my god, I'm so hungry. My mouth is growling. My mouth is growling. My stomach is growling. And now for the pores. Mine aren't too bad right now actually, but I'm still gonna put it just because. This is the Porefessional Hydrating Primer by Benefits. I also really like their like original primer as well. I'm just gonna put a little bit. I don't like to put too much. Just really press that in. Make sure it's in those damn pores. And I also really like to put it in like on my nose because I feel like that area sometimes it's a little rough. Areas up here I like to just fill in. Just give it maybe like 2 minutes to just set and dry a little bit. Then we are going to go in with foundation. My top two foundations are definitely the Beauty Blender Bounce Foundation. I really hope that they expanded their shade range. I know they got a lot of hate for that before, but I believe that they did expand their range a lot more. Mine's in 3.60W, and I really love this foundation. It's like a medium coverage, maybe even light medium, but you can definitely build it up. You want like coverage right off the bat. I would say the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. I really love that one too. I like this foundation because it's very like skin-like. I'm just going to start applying a little bit all over my face. I like to start out with the smallest amount of foundation because I think you can go overboard really quickly. I love this one because you can really just build it up however you want. The e.l.f. Buffing Foundation Brush. I love this foundation brush. We're gonna go up by the eyeshadow. Make sure not to interrupt the eyeliner or the eyeshadow. So sometimes you just need to focus the coverage where you need it exactly. Where you don't need it, you don't need to put it, you know? Makes it look a little more skin-like. This foundation brush just blends any foundation like a dream. Some foundation on my nose. And you could totally use a sponge. I just think this gives the most coverage. And I also try not to add too much foundation here because I like to add concealer there. Same with the chin, I try not to put too much because I put concealer there. And right here, I'm not going to put much foundation. You just don't want to add more product than you really need to blend down your neck too. So I'm going to do that, even if you need to add a tiny bit more foundation, just for your neck. Now, I do typically take the sponge just to smooth any like brush strokes. The concealer, my favorite part. I am Arab and I have very, very dark under eyes, as you can see. And I'll show you a little bit of a trick when it comes to concealer. Not like an insane amount, because this is pretty full coverage. And you're actually going to let it sit for the under eye in order for you to just get as much coverage as possible. So we're just gonna wait like 30 seconds for that. I'm actually going to go ahead and conceal the chin while I'm waiting for the other ones to dry. And I'm just going to use the same concealer brush I used to prime my eyes and just blend that out. And I'm not letting these sit because I don't need as much coverage there. I don't know if I mentioned, but that one's a Shape Tape concealer that we're using. Same one as we used for to prime. And I will use my blender. This one's from L'Oreal. I love this one. And I'm going to just blend that out. Be careful to watch and not mess up your eyeliner. Just go right under it. See how perfect that looks. I'm so happy. I'm just blending around the other areas we put concealer. I'm also going to add a tiny bit of concealer here. And then also here. I'm going to take the Rimmel Stay Matte powder in the shade Sandstorm. It makes everything just look so smooth. I'm going to put that under my eye. Next, my friend said to really focus on the like contouring bronzer situation. I personally use bronzer to contour. I don't really like the like really cool toned colors on me personally because I have more warmer skin, I think. I think this is an angled blush brush by e.l.f. And my favorite bronzer, this is like so out, but this is butter bronzer in the shade Deep Bronzer. Go into the hollows of your cheek. You can go light at first, and you actually want to go a little bit above that, like a tiny bit above that, to just like enhance your cheekbones a little bit more. If you want to use contouring shades, totally up to you. I don't think cool tone colors really work on my skin tone. I'm kind of going up to the temple of my face. Contouring is really like what you think works best for your face shape. So if you have a smaller forehead, you don't really need to add so much. If you have a bigger forehead, you can add like on the sides, on the top a little bit, whatever works for you. I personally like to, for my face shape personally, I like to add on the temple and right here, and sometimes a tiny bit up here. Everyone's face is different, so just see what works for you. From the top of your ear down, right there, you know? Now, personally, I don't go crazy on contouring my nose because I just don't feel comfortable changing the shape of my nose too much. I get it, you know, if you want to do that, totally do that. But I'm just going to basically add some bronzer on the sides of my nose and on the bottom, slightly like contouring, but more like to just bring the tones all together, if you know what I mean. You see what works with your nose shape. You put darkness in the areas that you want to hide, and then you want to put highlight or concealer or whatever in the areas that you want to enhance. By the way, the brush I was using for my nose was the Quick Contour from Royal and Langnickel. This very interesting looking brush. So next we are going to do blush. I like a decent amount of blush, honestly, but I also think it's a good idea to put a little more blush than you would, because blush is the first thing to come off of your face throughout the day. The Milani blush in Luminoso. I love this color. I feel like everyone loves this color, but it is really nice. It has a nice sheen to it, not too much, but I would like pretty golden sheen. Blush brush, but I'm pretty sure it's Real Techniques though. Right above the contouring. Next is highlighter. Personally, I don't think you really need to use too much highlighter, because I think in photography, from what I've heard and from what I've personally learned in photography, if you have a ton of highlighter on, it really looks a little too crazy. I am going to use the Glow Kit by Anastasia. This is a sun dipped one, and I'm going to take the shade, I'm gonna mix between Moonstone and Tourmaline, and we're just gonna hit the tops right there. I just add the smallest bit of highlighter just to get that glow going. For the highlighter for the face, I was using the Royal and Langnickel Highlight and Glow brush. Now for highlighting my nose, I am taking, I think this is from Eco Tools. It's like the tiny little inner corner brush, definer brush, I believe. And I'm taking the same two shades that I used for my face, and I am just going on the little tip. So I put it on the straight, like right on top, and then a little button. Cute. We'll take the same highlighter again, and I like to just highlight the inner corners just a tad. Just a tad, just to highlight that. We're also going to do the eyebrows, don't you worry. I'm going to take the Catrice Prime and Fine Multitalent Fixing Spray. I'm actually going to cover my eyes so the eyeshadow doesn't get messed up. Spray my face. Oh, it smells so good. But it just kind of melts all the powders together. Okay, so next we are going to work on the eyebrows. I have very thick eyebrows at the front, and then they get pretty thin at the end. I don't really fill in the front too much. I mostly focus on filling in the ends. I just comb out first just to get the shape going. My eyebrows are also naturally like super straight. I've kind of tweezed them over time to just create more of an angular shape. Now you can use really whatever you're comfortable using. I use a combination of pencil and powder. Filling in the ends. I really don't do too much because my eyebrows are just like I'm so sorry, I forgot to mention. This is the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer. And if you ever go overboard, you can always clean up with a tiny bit of concealer or even foundation that matches your skin tone and blend that out. Then I'm going to go in with the Gimme Brow by Benefit. This is the shade 4. You can use shaded color or you can even just use the clear brow. If you don't have as thick of eyebrows, I really do suggest the pencil. Now we are going to do lashes. Lashes are typically something I don't always do, but my friend requested that, so that is what we're going to do. I'm going to give you as many tips as I can. Kiss Blowout lashes. I think this is in the style Pixie 0202. Now, these I actually would say are decently natural. If you want a little bit more volume or dramatic lash, I will put a link in the description box with any more recommendations I can give you. So this is a little bit of a thin band, so I'm gonna just try and like hold the shape a little bit for a couple seconds. I'm first putting it on just to see how long it is, if I need to trim it at all. You don't want it to be too close to your eyes because that will pop off. It will pop off. Honestly, I don't even feel like I need to trim them. They're actually fitting pretty much perfectly on my eyes. But if you need to trim them to fit your eye, absolutely do it. But you should trim it from the end of the eyelash, like where the longest are on the outer corner. Because if you trim the inner corner is going to be ridiculously long for your eyes and it's going to be so uncomfortable. I prefer the Kiss Strip Lash Adhesive. And if you are going to wear lashes, especially on your wedding day, anytime really, I suggest you bring your eyelash glue with you. Because if that thing pops off, you need to glue it back on. I'm going to add a little bit. Actually, I'm going to be decently generous because we're going to let this dry for like 30 seconds anyways. You need it to get tacky. I'm sure you've heard that before. You just need to give it some time because if you put it right away, it will slide off. It's going to start to look a little clear once it starts to dry. And I also prefer to add a little bit of extra glue on the very ends since those are where it tends to pop off the most. Just give it like maybe 30 seconds. I also have a eyelash applicator, and that can be really helpful in being able to just grab the eyelash and place it on your eye. I think now is the time. We are going to I forgot to mention actually, I do not know where my eyelash curler is, but if you have an eyelash curler, curl your lashes first and then apply the eyelashes. Okay, they are on there. Now I'm actually going to use this. You can even use a tweezer or your fingers and just squeeze them with your natural lashes. And if you are really worried about doing it for the first time or something like before your wedding day or before like a big occasion, practice. Before, the day before, 2 days before, like just practice. Keep applying it with makeup on or not, like just practice it. We're going to do the other eye now. And I'm probably gonna just do that on my own because I just need to focus. That one was so much more successful. We are now going to add some mascara to just try and connect your natural lashes. With the fake ones. Okay, last but not least is the lips. I'm gonna go for a more nude lip. I'm gonna use a combination of things. I really love the Milani lip liners. I'm gonna use the one in the shade Spice. I don't really overline too much. If you are going to overline, focus on the middle of your lip, like right here. Do not overline like on the outer corners, because that is when it looks really fake. I'm gonna use the Lippie Stix in the color Parker. Yeah, I already know it by heart. I love this thing. I am going to use the Colourpop Luxe lipstick, I think, in the shade Quickie. This is going to lighten it up a bit. Lipstick is the other thing I suggest you bring with you to touch up, because if you're eating and maybe you're kissing people, it's nice to have that. I almost forgot. I actually had her even taken off my lashes because I don't really want to wear lashes all day, so I took them off. I literally forgot to put lower lash mascara, which I just did, but then I also forgot to put eyeshadow in the lower lash line. So I'm going to do that right now. And I'm going to use basically same burnt orange. You could put a tiny bit of brown here to match up there if you would like, but I don't think it necessarily needs that. I think you could just build up the transition shade. And we are actually done. And this is the finished makeup look. That is the end of this video. And I am so honored that my friend asked me to do a makeup tutorial for her wedding day, and I'm so excited for her and her soon-to-be husband, and they're the cutest couple on earth, and he is the kindest man to her, and I am so happy for the both of them. I'm just really thankful to have done this for her at least. I'm gonna be a part of her day this way, and I'm really happy, and yeah. Hopefully you like it, girl. I did my best. I hope I gave you some tips and anything. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I'll see you another time.